Hello. So we're going to start with a bar graph we set up in another video, and look at a couple different ways to animate this. The first thing we're going to need, just so we can kind of see the numbers changing, is some text. So actually, you know what? I'm going to duplicate this, and I'll duplicate that. We'll call this numbers. Call this numbers. And we'll move this up here. And we'll take the amount and plug it into the string. I have to take these and plug it into this. There we go. Okay, so then let's look at our data. So 5, 2, 10, 3, 6, 4. 5, 2, 10. Awesome. Okay, if we want this to match the position of the bars, what we could do is we could take this number that's driving the height of the bars, and we can plug this into the shape position y of the numbers, and then that way they'll go on the top of the bar as the bars move. The numbers will update. Okay. So, anything you want to animate, you click this little diamond shape here. It's very similar to the linear keyframe in After Effects. So here, I'll make this a little smaller. I'll go out here, set a key, go to it. So now there's a keyframe there. That's a stored value on the timeline. We'll move to a different part of the timeline, have another value, and you see the bars grow. So what if I wanted to have these numbers count up as the bar grows? I'm sure there's a million ways to do it, but one way we're going to do this is just to store a value and the value will go from 1 at a keyframe to 0. And then we'll use that value as a multiplier for both the height and the numbers. So let's see here. We'll make a multiply, which is just a math node, actually, math. I'll grab these two. If you click down here, it'll solo them, which can be handy if you get a lot of layers. Okay, so I'm going to plug this into the math first. The operation is going to be multiply, and then the second is going to be this one. And then we just want to turn this back down, and now it will count up as they go. Right now, though, there's two different keyframes controlling things. If we wanted them to be in sync, we could use the same value to drive this as well. So to do that, we're going to do another math node. This one we'll put down here. We're going to take the output. Well, we'll see. So it's going to be a multiply again. The first is going to be this. The second is whatever we set the maximum to, 500. And then we'll take the output of this and plug it into. We're going to undo this keyframe here. Those. We're going to take the output of this and plug it into the maximum. And now they're in perfect sync. And this is cool too, but in animation, one thing that can be nice is to have a little overlap. So everything's happening all at the same time. It'd be nice if the apple came slightly before the orange, before the banana, and so on and so forth. And now that we have this set up, it's not that hard to do. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete these keyframes. And in my value node, I'm going to add a fall off. And what this is going to be is a controller, a shape that we can move around and basically apply the number based on where the shape is. So now what we can do is just, so as I move the shape, you see they grow, which is great. And now what I can do is I can just animate the position X. And have them a little bit more interesting animation. Last thing I want to show you is how to animate between different sets of numbers. So if we look at this, if we look at our data for a second, there's an amount 1 and amount 2. And what if we wanted to, like, let's say each of these is a month. In 1 month there's this many, and the next month there's that many, and we want to animate between the two. So we can use a similar approach. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete the fall off node. I'm going to delete the numbers, just to simplify this a little bit, and all this stuff. And we're going to make another instance. So we'll call this amount. Set 2. And this will pull the other column. And for this, we'll do a similar thing, but we're going to have 2 value blend. So what this is we can take our 2 data sets or columns, take the output of this, plug this into our value, and then we can mix between one or the other. Amount 2, amount 1. We'll take the output of this. There we go. And then we can, by scrubbing this number, which we could animate, we can go from one to the other. But more interesting is to add a fall off. By animating this, we can go from one data set to another. All right.